All right, Duke, Pete's valuable to the Mets for two reasons. Power and the fact that he's homegrown. How much would you value homegrown talent versus, I'm not saying Christian Walker's better, but so how much do you weigh the homegrown factor?
Well, to me, that's the kind of decisive feeling when you're at the end and you're trying to decide whether you're going to go with him or somebody else. You're like, okay, well, I want the homegrown guy because your fans have already embraced him. He knows what it's like to play in New York. He's already a part of the fabric of the organization. You want to keep those guys. But sometimes, you're chasing something that maybe isn't there, or you're chasing something that isn't valuable, or, in this particular case, it's where you might show some restraint because the market is pretty good for corner infielders, as we'll talk about here later. It's certainly at first base. So you're trying to upgrade, in that spot too, if you can. So it's a balance back and forth, of course, but if it was the deciding factor, I want the homegrown guy if you can get him.
If it's a tiebreaker, right?
Right.
If you're looking at a player and you're kind of on the fence to which way you're going to go, you're going to look at someone that has handled the market, has brilliantly played in the market, and kind of go from there. But if the player is significantly better, then you go with the guy who is better. And I trust that the Mets will not look at certain decisions and have those emotional heartstrings get in the way. I think David Stearns showed last year in the offseason he's going to be very pragmatic. He is about his process. He is about his system. And I think that's the way, Sal, he's going to handle Pete Alonso moving forward.
Yeah.
And I think it's the way he's going to handle every single situation. Yes, Stearns knows the organization. He grew up a Met fan. He grew up on the Upper East Side. He understands what the idea would be of Pete Alonso going from start to finish as a Met. But it's got to make sense for him and the Mets.
I think you bring up an excellent point. It's more than just homegrown. The fact that he could do it in New York, that's a big factor that you wouldn't know about outside free agents. From that quote, though, that I take from Stearns, the Mets are going to let Pete test free agency, which we all expected to be the case. He's going to come back to them. If they think it's a good value, they'll bring him back. If they think that it's out of their range, they're not going to overpay.
Like Joe Shane and Saquon Barkley?
That's exactly right. The difference here, though, no salary cap.
Yeah.
So maybe the Mets would be willing to extend a little bit more, but I think that's exactly right, Harp. All right, Jim, what should the priority be for David Stearns this offseason?
I mean, let's stay, because we're talking about Pete, let's stay with the offense, because they need a little bit of both, right? They need offense, impact, they need pitching, too, and they need high-end pitching, really, because of, Manaya's pending free agency. But if you look at the position player group, they need one of each of these guys. And the first base group is pretty heavy in good. Not just Alonso. Walker is a real quality guy. Won't be as much money. Goldschmidt's coming down off of a down year. Or Adames or Bregman, you sign them for third base and move Vientos over to first.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of options there, and that's, I think, factoring into whether they go down this road of P. And then they need an outfielder of some kind impactful, and it's Soto. If they don't get Soto, it's somebody like Santander, a switch hitter that would give them balance. I think if you go down the pitching side, they need two of this group. One, preferably one in Group A, one in Group B. They could go, though, if they spend all their money on the position player group, go like they did this year, shorter term with the Group B list there, and grab two of those guys, a Severino, Flaherty, Quintana, someone like that, Ray, or they grab one from the top there. Burns obviously is the one there. Manaya, for me, I'd love to have him. I just think the workload and how expensive he's going to be and where he is age-wise, I think you're going to be chasing him a little bit. And you're like, I'm not going to feel good about that last money, that dollar amount that you're going to give him. So I think that's the to-do list right out of the gate.
Yeah, the position player list isn't all that attractive other than Soto, really. That's why I think he's such a must. You sign him, and then you can really you fill in all the pieces around him. The pitching is a little more intriguing there because there's some of those names that you showed there. I think I'd buy in on Manaya. I understand what you're saying, but I think that change to that sale-like delivery, I think there's a lot. He's got a lot left there. I mean, he's so dominant. I think he's going to continue on that. And then, I don't know, Burns, I wouldn't give him 6-7 years, but somebody's probably going to do that. So I'd try and find a way to go around and make some shorter-term deals. That's the key, I think, for me.
Yeah, I'll trust Stearns to figure out the pitching. I don't need a big name there. I want Soto and Adames would be my two guys there. And that would, look, you want to bring Pete back? I'm understanding it, but I think Adames and Soto makes the Mets significantly better with their lineup.